Hi, very good evening, one and all. My name is Hari Prasad. I am working in area sales manager in Vadex India Private Limited. Today is the World Hearing Day, and here we are with our third Facebook Live to address hearing loss and awareness. With us, we have Mr. Nagakiran, audiologist and owner of Hearwell Speech and Hearing Clinic, Hyderabad. Mr. Nagakiran comes with experience of 12 years uh, in audiology industry. Vidix India thanks to Mr. Nagakiran for providing this information to our beloved Facebook followers. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello, good evening everyone. I am Nagakiran from Hyderabad. I am an audiologist. I am practicing as a private. I am doing my private practice for the last 12 years, and today we are here to discuss about a few issues related to hearing loss. And the topics are where to seek help for hearing loss and importance of regular hearing checkups. So let's discuss about hearing loss. Hearing loss is a big problem which is very much neglected in our Indian context, because people will simply think that this is a problem of just a problem of communication. They don't look into the issues related to other associated problems related to hearing loss. So the problems that are associated with hearing loss are social isolation and loneliness and frustration resulting due to hearing loss, and also because of the low economic uh, options, and low income availability of the individual due to hearing loss also can contribute to the associated problems like depression and dementia. So depression is one of the problem where people with hearing loss face lot of trouble with apart from communication problem. People with hearing loss, they face lot of issues with depression and dementia. So, and there are few situations, there are few researchers going on where uh, people with hearing loss tend to experience frequent falls, and also they experience frequent hospitalization. That may happen with the elder population. So everybody has to take care of their hearing, and it is better not to neglect their hearing loss. So, and dementia is a condition where people may suffer because of the hearing loss. They may tend to develop memory loss, and also they have very poor judgment skills. So to avoid these situations, it is better to have a proper idea about the hearing loss. And if somebody is facing some problem with the hearing loss, they don't know, the first question that arises in their mind is whom to meet and where to seek help for the hearing loss. Generally they tend to get a doubt whether to meet an audiologist or whether to meet an ENT specialist. So these two professionals, they have their definite job roles, and they have their boundaries limited to each profession. So let's see what are those, when to contact whom. So generally if somebody is having problem with the hearing loss, that is like if they are unable to follow the conversations of their loved ones or family and friends, and also they may somebody may face problem in understanding the speech, something like soft speech, or also conversations on the TV and radio they can't hear. So in those situations they have to go and meet an audiologist for the hearing evaluation. Generally this type of hearing loss may be progressive one, a gradual progressive one, where they can straight away go and meet an audiologist for the help. So there are few situations like ENT specialists, they deal with the diseases of ear, nose and throat. So if somebody is facing some problem like ear pain, discharge from the ear, and also wax got accumulated in their ear, and also if they have problem with the dizziness along with tinnitus is nothing but a buzzing noise. Somebody may experience dizziness along with tinnitus. In those situations you have to go and meet ENT specialist. And generally ENT specialist will provide surgical and medical manifestation of the problems related to the ear, and an audiologist is going to help you out and treat your hearing loss. So when you have some problems that is gradual progressive in nature and you are facing problem with the hearing, then it is better you go and meet an audiologist. Here things in India are going ulta. That means people will go to ENT specialist first if they have hearing loss, and from there people will be referred to audiologist. So but things have changed now and people are coming to an audiologist nowadays, and that is good sign. And people who are motivated to come to an audiologist for hearing aids, that is good thing. And now the thing is, so people neglect hearing loss. Something like if they have hearing loss, they don't know whom to meet. In such dilemma, they tend to delay the evaluation, and they come up after a couple of years. When situation get worsen, then only they come to an audiologist or an ENT specialist. In such situation, they lose their ability to discriminate the speech. Even after giving amplification, they don't get good result. So that is the reason it is better to evaluate your hearing loss as early as possible. Otherwise, we can't give you a proper amplification. Even the results will be very low with the amplification. So that is the reason why you have to focus on treating your hearing loss as early as possible. And the thing is, people generally come to me after 10 years or 12 years of hearing loss, and they tell us that after just placing hearing aid, they want to hear everything straight away. It is just like switch on the bulb, and they want to see the light. So just like that, they expect things to happen just after hearing aid usage. So that is not going to happen, because they lose the ability of discrimination because of the auditory deprivation. So that is the reason I strongly recommend, whenever you suspect hearing loss, you need to go and meet an ENT specialist or audiologist. It is better you go and meet an audiologist for hearing assessment. And there are few conditions like sudden sensorineural hearing loss. That is a condition where you need to seek medical attention immediately within 2 days. Otherwise, the hearing restoration chances will come down. So sudden sensorineural loss is nothing but it is just a problem where every day your hearing will be okay, and when you get up in the morning, you notice that there is some problem with your hearing. Usually it is a single-sided deafness. So people, they don't know what is happening with their ear. So that time they need to seek immediate and medical attention. So either they can meet an ENT specialist or an audiologist. From there you will be directed accordingly, and your problem has to be treated within 2 days. Otherwise, the chances of restoring your hearing will come down drastically. So whenever somebody experience sudden sensorineural hearing loss, they have to take immediate attention, and then only things will go nicely with the treatment options. And the next thing is, if somebody is having children having profound hearing loss, or adult having profound hearing loss, having poor benefit with the hearing aids, there we need a team approach of an ENT specialist and also an audiologist to go ahead with the cochlear implantation and the mapping procedures. So in such situations, you need team approach. And apart from that, we have other topics to discuss. That is, later on we move to assessment procedures in audiology. Generally, when you go and meet an audiologist for hearing assessment, he or she may help you out with administering couple of tests on you to find out the degree and type of hearing loss that you are facing. So after knowing the type and degree of hearing loss, an audiologist may advise you use of hearing aid based on your needs. And apart from prescribing hearing aids, an audiologist will help you out with the issues related to effects of hearing loss on your day-to-day life, and also he will look into your lifestyle issues that are facing because of the hearing loss. And also he will help you out with the communication tactics. Those are going to help you out with when you are dealing with such problems. And the thing is, the test procedures that generally involve with the audiological setups are pure tone audiometry and impedance audiometry and otoacoustic emissions and brainstem evoked response audiometry. These are the general tests where you can see in any hearing centers or in any audiology setups. Whenever you have problem with the hearing, you can go to an audiologist. Generally there are so many hearing centers in the cities, and also now it has moved to major towns in the all districts of India, I feel. And you can directly go and meet an audiologist, a qualified audiologist, that is RCA registered, Rehabilitation Council of India registered audiologist. You need to meet RCA registered audiologist so that he can help you out with the problem, and he'll be directing you if there is any underlying medical cause that has to be attended by an ENT specialist. Then he may direct you to that professional. So, and you can also go through there are few associations within the state. Suppose if you take it in Hyderabad, in Telangana, we have a TESALPA, that is Telangana Audiologist Association, where you can see audiologist numbers and their addresses are located in the website, where you can just go through the website and you can see and who is the audiologist and who are the nearby audiologists to you, and you can contact them. And also you can go to any private or government organizations. Nowadays audiology setups are there in both the setups, and you can take help from the audiologist. And next thing is there are few questions popping up now, and I'll just come back to those questions once I'm done with my speech. And let's move on to the tests that are going to help us out with the hearing evaluation. Those are pure. The first one and the basic one is pure tone audiometry. Pure tone audiometry is a basic procedure. It is going to take 15 to 20 minutes of time. And pure tone audiometry, this is a test where you will be asked to sit in a soundproof booth, and you will be placing your headphones on your ears, and you will be asked to respond after presenting a couple of sounds to you. So this is a subjective method of assessing your hearing, where with this test we can find out degree and type of hearing loss. Based on that, you will be given treatment options available for your hearing problem. And next one is the impedance audiometry. Impedance audiometry is a test where we can assess the function of your middle ear, and we can know is there any infection persisting in your middle ear. Generally there are three parts in the ear, that is outer ear, middle ear, and the inner ear. With the help of impedance audiometry, we will know what is the problem with your middle ear, and also we can know the stapedius reflex muscle stapedius muscle reflex response, and up to some extent we can know the performance of the artery pathway with this test, that is impedance audiometry. So we will be knowing conditions like otitis media, that is fluid accumulation within the middle ear, and also we can notice some special problem like otosclerosis, which is a extra bone growth within the ossicles, and this can be treated with proper medical attention. And the next one is OAE. Otoacoustic emission is a test. It is a quick and very easy test to find out. It is a screening test, or it can be done diagnostically also. A simple screening test will let us know if some newborn is having such hearing loss, any hearing loss, and it is very helpful to find out the hearing condition in the younger population, that is in the newborns and also in the infants. This test is an objective test, and gives us a quick result about the condition of hearing. And the next test is brainstem evoked response audiometry. BERA is a test, one of the good tests of threshold estimation in the population who cannot cooperate for the subjective assessment like PTA. Generally, young children who are below 3 years, they can't respond to even up to 5 years also, few people they can't respond to the pure tone audiometry, whereas in between 3 to 5, if they are cooperative, we can try conditioning audiometry, but it is better to up to 5 years we can consider going with brainstem evoked response audiometry to elicit the to find out the estimated thresholds in both ears. This is one of the good tests to find out any the degree of hearing loss that is that a child is suffering with. So accordingly we can give them treatment options. This OAE and Bera and impedance, these tests will help us a lot in assessing young children, to giving them a early identification and early treatment options can be given with the help of these three tests. And then we move on to a topic called importance of regular hearing checkups and follow-ups according to age. So regular hearing checkups are very much important. Suppose we say in abroad there is a program called newborn hearing screening that is running on in any maternity hospitals or in the hospitals to rule out the hearing loss in younger population. But whereas here in India only in few corporate hospitals and few hospitals they are running the newborn hearing screening, it is very much mandated that with the help of running a newborn hearing screening, we can we can take out the early identification as early as possible, with as early as 3 months, and early intervention can be started below as early as 6 months. So it is very important to have a regular hearing checkups in younger population. Generally, first screening test should be within first 3 weeks of their early life. Later on, people should not neglect the hearing in younger children because of the upper respiratory tract infections like tonsillitis and adenoiditis. They tend to develop glue ears. Glue ears is nothing but accumulation of serous fluid within the middle ear. In those situations, we don't know that, we feel that they are hearing but they are unable to follow soft speech. So in that time, we don't know that whether they are acquiring good speech and language skills or not. So this problem may cause hearing loss up to 50 to 60 decibels, and which is going to result in delay in speech and language skills. So it is not to be neglected with the younger population about the hearing assessments, and they have to be tested once in every 4th, 5th, 6th and 8th and 10th years of their life. So it is so important that we even parents have to have a look about their child's hearing. So, and the next thing is we move on to age group between 18 to 40. This population generally they don't come to an audiologist or ENT specialist unless until they find that there is some underlying cause or any underlying problem that is troubling them. Generally, it is better to go for a hearing assessment once in every 3 to 5 years for this population. So, and next we'll move on to the geriatric population. Above 60 years, it is mandated that they have to get tested their hearing once in every year. So that we'll be knowing. Generally, incidence and prevalence of hearing loss is very high after 60. It is everybody may experience, one person in every 5 members may experience some amount of hearing loss after 60, and it is going to be 1 in every 3 people after 75 years of age. So that is the reason it is advised, strongly recommended to go for hearing evaluation once in every year. Suppose if we take a person with if somebody is having hearing loss and they are using hearing aids, and if they have to be tested very frequently because they are using hearing aids. If it is a digital programmable hearing aid, we have to get tested their hearing very frequently, and we can take those levels and we can adjust those hearing aids according to patient needs. So it is mandated that once in every 6 months they have to undergo hearing evaluation. For once in 6 months is mandated, or minimum of once in a year they have to be get tested, and their hearing aids have to be adjusted accordingly. So and let's talk about a few things generally what we come across. People will come to us and ask for sir, they think that for their hearing loss, wax accumulation is the main cause. So they think that this is only the main problem and they don't have any other thing. Even after 60 years or 70 years, they don't accept that it is something resulted due to their aging. So they don't accept that it is a common problem associated with the hearing. They always focus on clearing their ears. So even after telling that they don't have anything in their ears, they don't accept. So then that time we need to show them with the otoendoscopy pictures. Then only they think that, so then only they believe us. There is nothing in their ears. Even after knowing that they don't have anything in their ears, they ask, final thing is, they think that for every hearing problem and ear problem, the final solution is using ear drops. So that is a myth. That is a total myth. The ultimate solution for a hearing problem or ear problem is not using drops. Drops are not going to improve your hearing. They will be prescribed in special conditions, special middle ear infections or outer ear infections. So those drops will work only for those situations only. They are not directly going to improve your hearing. So everybody has to, early identification and early treatment of the problem is must, so that they get better treatment options. And now we move on to the questions that were popped in the live session. How do I know what treatment I need? First, you need to go and consult an audiologist for the hearing evaluation. Based on the symptoms and complaints you have given, hearing test will be done, and according to the diagnosis, your treatment options will be explained to you, whether it is medical or surgical treatment or hearing aids. That can be you will be directed accordingly. If there is any underlying medical cause, you will be directed to an ENT specialist. Or if you are having hearing loss which is very gradual, progressive in nature, and which is when there is a irreversible hearing problem like SN hearing loss, sensory neural hearing loss, and also in few mixed hearing loss cases, we can go ahead with the hearing aids. So accordingly, you need to go and consult a professional first, then they will be advising you what to do with your hearing loss. And the next one is, what do I do if I think I am losing my hearing? So whenever you feel that you are losing your hearing, general symptoms of hearing loss are, you may be facing difficulty in understanding other speech. So there are few situations in the early onsets of hearing loss. We can hear sounds and we can hear speech, but we may be facing problem with understanding the speech. So if you feel that if you are unable to follow conversations, if you are unable to follow conversations on the TV, and your TV volume is need to be raised, or your phone volume is need to be raised, then you have to identify those situations. You need to check if there are any symptoms you are suffering with. Then you need to go to an audiologist and you have to get tested, and they'll let you know what is the type and degree of hearing loss you are suffering with, and they'll tell you what to do with your hearing. So everybody has to know about the hearing conservation programs, so that is going to help you to save your hearing. And the next one is, what treatments are available? Generally with hearing loss, generally we can classify hearing loss into three problems, like conductive pathology, mixed hearing loss, and also sensory neural hearing loss. Sensory neural hearing loss is an irreversible problem that has been resulted due to the either problem in the cochlea or in the nerve. So that is called sensory neural hearing loss. It is a irreversible problem. For this problem, the best option is going with the hearing aid. After 75 to 80 decibels of hearing loss, the performance of hearing aid will come down. So if somebody is having hearing loss above more than 75 to 80 decibels of hearing loss in both ears, and having poor benefit with the hearing aids, then they can go for cochlear implantation. That is one of the best options available with the congenital deafness of the children. And also even with the acquired deafnesses also, they can go for, somebody is suffering with acquired deafness of profound hearing loss, then they can go for cochlear implantation. And if somebody is having problems with serous otitis media or CSOM, chronic suppurative otitis media, or something problems related to middle ear, they can be surgically altered or surgically treated. So something like otosclerosis. Otosclerosis is a problem where we can see extra bone growth on the stapes fluid plate, that is one of the smallest bone in the middle ear. So that can be treated surgically, and if If it is pure conductive hearing loss, we can see good improvement with the surgical approach. If inner ear also involved in the otosclerosis, then results may vary, and that time you can think about considering amplification devices also. And there are few situations like somebody may have problem with wax accumulation. Hardly 10 decibel of reduction will be there with the regular performance. So wax removal will improve only hardly 10 decibels improvement we can see. These are the general treatments options available with the hearing loss. And then next we'll move on to what can I do to protect my ears. Definitely people have to protect their hearing. Generally we see once in every we see 2 or 3 clients a week coming to us having with a complaint of traumatic injury. So they involve in some fight on the road or somewhere or even domestic violence. They come to us saying that, sir, I'm having difficulty with hearing, tinnitus is troubling me. So it is better not to go with, my sincere advice, it is better not to go for the fights on the road, because any traumatic injury on the ear may lead to a severe degree of hearing loss also. And it is always advisable to stay away from the loud music. Even I see clients who come to me very often, they sit very close to the DJ music, DJ speaker, facing one ear to the speaker, and they experience hearing loss. Generally everybody will experience temporary threshold shift when they when they are exposed to loud noises. But when you are exposed to very loud noise for even for 1 hour also, above 90 decibels and 100 decibels of output, when you are exposed to that much output, hearing loss is going to trouble. It may not going to come back again. So it is going to be a permanent threshold shift. So I sincerely advise you people to followers and the audience to stay away from the loud music and loud sounds. And also never put oil and never put any cotton buds and other things into your ears, because you may unknowingly push wax inside the ear, or you may cause damage to your tympanic membrane. And also it is better to be vaccinated your child, not to get the rubella in mainly in the girl child. So generally in most of the cases with congenital deafness, rubella seems to be one of the big problem that is causing hearing loss in children. And also it is better not to be we need to avoid the particularly in children, we need to treat upper respiratory tract infections as early as possible. And as a parent we need to see how they are doing in terms of their hearing ability in school performance and academic performances. And other thing is, whenever you notice hearing loss, it is always better get tested so that treatment options will be known to you as early as possible. And next we'll move on to other questions. What can I do to protect my ears? So yeah, that has been explained. And also people who are working at noisy environments, they have to use ear protective devices, otherwise they are going to lose hearing. And always it is better to be away from the crackers, and it is better to be away from loud noises so that you can preserve your hearing. Like that you can protect your hearing. And it is better not to use phone or any audio devices for longer duration and years together. So I have seen few clients, they have come up with complaint of, I'm facing there is some buzzing noise troubling me and I am unable to follow conversations. And I have asked them, are you using any earphones? Yes, they said yes. So for how long you are using these earphones? They said it is more than 3 to 4 hours a day they are using for about since 3 years. So in such conditions it is going to affect their hearing and it is going to cause noise induced hearing loss. So it is better to stay away from using gadgets for longer duration. And then now I think I'm done with my speech. Now I'll hand over the screen to Mr. Hariprasad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you sharing the very good information to Vidix Facebook viewers, and thank you everyone watching Facebook Live, Vidix Facebook Live. Have a great day and a great hearing and a great evening.